Did I mention we had a lot of training? After we'd been there for a little bit, we got hit with another wave of training. Next up, night shots, magic shots, and more at the View. So one of the things in the early days of Photopass was we had a lot of training. And it was broken up into segments, and then we had stuff that was on the job as well. We learned how to use the cameras and take the basic shots, and then we got a little bit of the view. But then there was another dose of training that took place 2-3 weeks later, when we learned to do a little bit more than just take the basic shots on Main Street. We did learn more about the view. There was an early version of photo editing on it. It was very simple, didn't have a whole lot of features in it, but we did take time to learn how to use it as much as possible to do searches if people lost pictures. This was one of the coolest things, is if they had their picture taken and they couldn't find it, we could almost always find it for them and add it onto their Photopass and pull it up. It was honestly one of the cutting edge things at the time. We learned how to adjust the printers. Believe it or not, if you go to Disney today and you buy pictures and have them printed in the park, they're still pretty much the same printers as they were when I was there. They're amazing printers. They're absolutely fantastic. But you did have to learn how to change. It's not really ink. It's more of a color printing paper ribbon. It's different. You got a big roll of paper, and then you've got the color that is imprinted onto the paper. And it's really kind of a cool process if you ever get to see it. But we had to learn how to adjust and change all that out and fix things. So there was more training. Most of that was kind of on the job. You know, hey, you've got a shift at the view. We're going to make sure that you know everything in there today. Okay. Then we finally got night shot training. We didn't get that in the initial burst of training. They wanted to know that we knew how to take pictures first. Night shots were a little different. You had to actually change the settings. Today's cameras are amazing in that you can take a picture at nighttime and the camera automatically adjusts for everything, and you don't need tripods or anything. It just snaps the picture. Not back then. Back then, to get a good night shot, the cameras still were really kind of old school in that what they essentially had to do was, because there was not a lot of light at night, they had to hold the shutter open and leave it open to let enough light come in for it to be able to actually see and get the picture, and then it would close. And a typical night shot would take between 3 and 5 seconds. That's a long time to stand. It's also a long time to try to hold a camera still, because if that camera moves just a little, just the barest shake, it blurs and the image is ruined. Or if the people move, then they blur. And so you've got to learn how to take that picture. Well, the big secret is you can't take it handheld. You had to get a tripod, set up your tripod, learn how to get the tripod set and the camera attached and angled and the proper lineup. And then you didn't get to do your 3 shots at night because that camera was locked into position. You weren't flipping the camera around. You locked it and you left it. So you changed a little bit how you shot those pictures, changed your settings. It wasn't a lot of training. Typically, it would be a couple hours, maybe. Hey, here's what you're going to do. Here's how you're going to set it up. Let's walk you through it. Let's take you out now and set you up so you can get it. If something happens and you need to move, here's how to move your camera. We had a number of incidents early on. One, we didn't used to have lights on the tripods, which meant when it got dark, people didn't see the tripod and they were forever tripping over them and running into them and knocking them over. Yeah, we got lights fairly quickly for the injury aspect of it and being able to keep the cameras up. The other thing that we learned pretty quick was we had to stay close to that tripod, even with lights, because people would knock it over, and then there goes thousands of dollars in camera equipment smashing on the ground. Not good. So we actually started getting in a habit, since we had the neck supports, we would actually attach those onto the camera, and we would leave them on. And if we were near that tripod, we sometimes would still keep it on just so we didn't have to worry about the camera hitting the ground. They now use body harnesses, which are a little bit different. They actually strap around the shoulders, come around. They got those, started to get those in as I was leaving, but it was definitely one of those deals. You tried to find tricks to keep that tripod safe from getting knocked over. I basically learned to just lock a hand on that tripod, and I pretty much always had a hand on it, and I kind of walked in circles around it. I didn't let that thing go if I didn't have to. But then, yeah, again, lining everything up and everything else to be aware of. If it started to rain, it's Florida. It rains all the time. And you had to move in a hurry. How do you grab that camera and tripod and all the equipment and move fast so it doesn't get wet without putting it at risk? Just grabbing a tripod, it's heavy. You have to be careful how you do it. So yes, we actually practice picking up our tripods with the camera on it, or detaching everything real quick and moving. It was interesting watching some of the different techniques. And then we finally got to shoot night shots. That was, like I said, 2 hours. They came out, hey, you're on schedule for this evening. We're going to do your night shot training. There'd be like 4 of us. They cover the basics, set us up, shoot some pictures, make sure we knew what to do, and then turned us loose. And that was about it. Sounds like a bigger deal than it was. Then the other kind of training we got finally after this was magic shots. These are the ones that everybody loves. Everybody knows about Tinkerbell in the hands. Well, you actually have to be trained on each one to know how to line up the guests, where to make them look or what you want them to do, where to put them in the picture. You can put Tinkerbell here, but there's a difference between putting Tinkerbell right in front, where now she's blending in with her face, or off to the side just a little bit where she's easier to see. But at the same time, you still want to keep her close to the center of the picture. You got to make sure the hands are up flat and not curved, because now you're trying to hold Tinkerbell in a cup. And just little things that you wouldn't think would be a big deal, but if you want that magic shot to work good, you've got to know. So for the balloons, it's right hand up in the air, pointing towards the sky, so that way they're holding the balloons in the right place. If it's a character on the ground, well, where on the ground? Is it in front of them? Is it to their side? What's it doing? What kind of expression? One of the things I love with my magic shots was coaching expressions. And so I would come up with all sorts of creative ways to tell them kind of what's happening, but not what's happening, and what expression I wanted. Okay, you've got somebody coming out of the ground who's scaring the stuffing out of you. Give me the best scared. And I had a number of standard expressions I would show the people. The scared, big surprise, or the princess. It just various little things. For boys, I love doing a Tinkerbell shot. I actually did it with my kids, and I didn't line it up right, but that's why you had to learn how to shoot the picture, and I goofed it. But it's still a great shot. I love to take the boys and having the boys put their hand out like this, and then have the girls standing there going, while the boy's making an absolute gross face. And then you put Tinkerbell right in the middle. There were a few of us that did it that way. I don't know if they allow them to do it that way anymore, but we had fun with it. We were allowed to do a few creative things back then. But each magic shot, again, was different. And so anytime they came out with a new magic shot, you had to learn how to shoot it. And they actually got to a point after the first several months, maybe the first year, where you had to be signed off on a magic shot to be able to shoot it. They would actually go through, train you on it. Hey, here's a shot. Here's how to shoot it. Let me see you take it. Let me make sure you know how to do it. And then we'll check it off in the computer system. And if you were shooting magic shots that you weren't technically trained on, you could potentially get in trouble. Now, I never did. I did shoot a number of magic shots I never got trained on, but it's because I had shot so many. Okay, let me just look at the picture. I can pretty much see what they're going to do, what they need to know, and I'll be okay. I did have one manager who did not know me one time come up to me and, hey, are you signed off on these? I don't know. I'm shooting them though. Well, you're not supposed to be shooting them if you're not signed off on them. Is there something wrong with the way the picture's framed? No. Anything wrong with the guest's expression or pose? No. Am I shooting the picture right? Well, yeah, but you're not signed off on it. Go talk to Mike, the main manager. He'll let you know that. Because those of us who came in early during that time, we knew how to do a lot of this stuff, and we just did it because we were doing it before there were sign-offs on it. And yeah, Magic Shots was definitely one of those where we did a lot of shooting that we knew how to do, and they didn't necessarily sign us off. But Magic Shots was a whole nother training, and that was something that was constantly ongoing. Anytime they had one, you'd had another little session of how do you do it. Most of the time, it's looking over the papers that show you, but every now and then you have to go practice. Yeah, more training. And you know what? The training wasn't done there. There was still more to come. But I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Character training was coming soon. Did you enjoy this little look at starting off as a Photopass photographer and some of the training? I'd love to know. Please share your comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so incredibly much to my supporters and my patrons. If you want to know more about that and what they do, check the link below. There's a ton in the description. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.